Yesterday was a phenomenal day setting me up for my last day riding westbound across Minnesota. This early morning I'm thinking of a repeat, but as I found out soon after by mid-morning, the headwinds came on me with a fury. Being so tired from the long day behind me, I found myself struggling to finish this day. To add to my logistical hurdles, a cold front was set to arrive overnight with even stronger west winds, and I was needing to reach Fargo by next day's end with 85 miles to meet up with my friend Steve, who was flying up from Everglades City, Florida to ride together for the next week. I've definitely found the hills in Minnesota got a really perfect grade to just cruise on up, and the scenery continues to be spectacular. The colors are great. I ride through the town of Reamer and keep pushing against the wind at a steady pace, covering over 30 miles by midday. I'm often asked why I choose to ride from east to west against the North American prevailing west winds. For starters, I'm from the East Coast, so it psychologically feels to me that I'm heading somewhere instead of returning, and since I thrive on the pioneering spirit, I fell victim to this thought process. Not to add that American history has the westward expansion of our nation heading west, and reaching the western half of the country from the east somehow excites me. I've been struggling this morning. A lot of wind right in my face, kind of like at my 10:30 and swirling all around the highway, but mostly head on. I've still done 37 miles, but I got like 40 more to go. And I have the time, so I just gotta keep my pace and get there. All right, Park Rapids, 40 miles. Let's go. Another notable reason for riding east to west is that climbing the Rocky Mountains takes you into high elevations, creating some of the most challenging days, so I feel I have these first months to condition myself and prepare to climb away. I want to go higher and on more difficult passes, and on this tour I'm heading to Colorado to climb over some of the highest passes in the country, including Independence Pass at over 12,000 feet in elevation. Today's a major struggle. I almost hit a wall there at 50 miles, stopped at a convenience store and ate whatever I get my hands on, and drank some Gatorade and lots of water, and I feel a little bit better, but it's 4 o'clock. I got my work cut out. I'm just taking it easy and pacing, and hoping I catch a break by having the wind lay down on me. Let's see. After close to 60 miles of straight up headwinds, I reached the 49-mile Heartland State Trail. This multi-use rail trail runs from Cass Lake to the north, southwest all the way to Park Rapids. Not sure how I get this lucky. I really have been struggling all day. That first 50 miles of the day were just redunculous. That headwind was just whipping me around. Got 18 miles to get to Park Rapids, and I was going alongside this trail, and I thought it would be a snowmobile trail and be all nasty, but it's all paved so far and super smooth. I'm really behind the game right now just because I worked so hard into the 50 miles. I'm 60 now, so the last 10 miles have been somewhat easier, but I was already destroyed. Just recently the wind has laid down considerably. Being here makes me just really chill because I don't have to be in a hurry. I can ride this into the dark with my lights, and I checked the map and it's clearly going right to the city, so I'm pretty pumped. I got really lucky there. Again, I can always figure it out, but this was insanely great to find. A few more miles and I reach Park Rapids, where I find a Motel 6 to spend the night and start figuring out what to do for the next day. Needing to be in Fargo, North Dakota by next day's end, I had to find the most affordable way to get there. With the incoming rainy day, strong west winds, and 85 miles to get there, I was caught in a jam that needed some solving, but for now I absorb all I can of this beautiful trail with more fall colors and its wind-free smooth path. Only about 4 miles left. It's been spectacular. I just keep pinching myself about getting on this trail somehow. I'm like so tired. Every time I stop, my legs are just done. This morning was just a huge load to deal with, but it's almost there. I'm looking forward to laying down, falling asleep.
Front came in overnight with a punch. After scrambling in Park Rapids for some type of public transportation to get me to Fargo, I ended up having to hire a taxi cab. My friend Steve was due to arrive the next morning so we could start riding into North Dakota, but his airline ended up losing his luggage and we had to wait 2 days to get it. Thankfully his bike arrived with him, and after putting it together, we had a blast running around Fargo, catching up and doing this and that.
Heading out. Had 3 days at the Fairfield Inn and Suites in Fargo. If you guys can see that Steve behind, he came from Everglades, Florida to come ride with me for a week to Pierre. So it's a crisp morning. I think we have a bit of a south wind. Let's see what happens.
Right away we start chatting it up, and Steve starts off telling me about how Patty, the love of his life and touring partner of 20 years, is the navigator of the two.
Patty was my logistics person.
I believe it, that she does all the research.
I left her one time in Ireland. There was a fork in the road, and I took one.
And she took the other?
And she didn't know which one. She got to that fork and she goes, "That asshole." And I thought about it. I got about a mile when I came back. She was cussing at those.
You guys must have a ball.
We start this day riding on all sorts of roads, bike paths, and sidewalks to leave the city of Fargo behind. One interesting feature of roads in North Dakota is that regardless of them being in a city or in farm country, they are named the same way, using numbered streets when going east to west and avenues when going north and south. Before long, we find ourselves in open country riding on 12th Avenue, otherwise known as Old County Road 10.
How is it that we're getting a tailwind in North Dakota?
I don't know, man. It's fabulous, that's for sure. I never say no to a tailwind.
No, me either. How could you?
It's the best of all things.
These next 5 days riding with Steve from Fargo to Pierre, South Dakota, covering 300 miles, make for some of the most memorable times of my tour across the United States. This first day was by far the most relaxed, with the other 4 gifting us with extremely challenging variables, and one specific day almost catching us off guard and in serious trouble. But for now, we keep pedaling and chatting it up, absorbing the beauty of eastern North Dakota.
Shit can be as ocean for miles and everything's good. You know?
28 miles in and heading to Valley City. We just left a lot of pavement behind because we're getting on some dirt road for a few miles, and there's 32 miles to get to Valley City.
Miles west of Fargo, we leave the pavement behind and ride into dirt farm roads where we're witness to soybean harvesting. This made for an entertaining ride, with combines doing their harvesting in the fields and grain cars transporting the soybeans from the combines to the seed trucks on the road. Every one of these truckers was so nice to us. They allowed us to ride on the upwind side of the road so we wouldn't get blasted by the dust storm they were creating, and often honked their horn saying hello. We even had one stop later on the next day to talk to us.
Steve and I are going like 7 miles an hour, just talking the whole way down this trail. We're not becoming a Tour de France quality right now, but we're enjoying a beautiful day.
I'm saying 10. Wait a minute. Mine says 10.
Well, right now it's 10 because we're going downhill, but
Oh, now this is downhill.
yeah, we're like going down the mountain right now. Not really, it's super flat here. We're 35 or 6 miles in to the day and about 24 or 5 more miles to go before we have to decide if we're gonna keep going today or not. So gorgeous day. A little windy from the left, but not bad at all.
Stellar day. Look at the cemetery.
By midday, we had covered 37 miles and reached the quaint city of Buffalo, where we stopped to take in the sights and rehydrate before moving on and back onto more farm country. This city was founded in 1878 and is home to about 190 residents.
One thing, I'm gonna take you from a lot of places.
We take a left on 139th Ave and then a right on 34th Street and get back to it.
Pick up the pace, you old fucker.
Steve and I keep on chatting it up and continuing our usual bantering. This man and his other half, Patty, have been in my life for 33 years, and it was them who got me into this crazy world of bicycle touring 20 years ago when they decided in their 50s to get bikes and cross the United States. During the last 20 years, they have crossed the United States twice, as well as Europe and many other countries as well. This will be the first time we ride together, and not only being my friend and father figure, but also my mentor at work, I'm in high heaven and taking in every second that goes by.
We're at the top of this hill, I'm gonna stop and get a drink. So this must be owned by...
We're having our share of farm roads, gravel farm roads. And they're in good shape, but they're also difficult. Washboards and sometimes sandy, rocky sort of gravel roads that make it difficult to go fast, and it wears you out a little bit. But we're getting it done, and we're only 4 miles from Valley City after 57 miles on the road today. Not bad for a first day, and we're feeling good. We made a good time getting in pretty early. It's like only 4 or 5. Solid day altogether.
descend into Valley City on 118th Avenue, turning west on Interstate 94, otherwise named Main Street, taking us through the city's center. Valley City was formerly called Worthington and is nicknamed City of Bridges. It was founded in 1874 and has a current population of 6,500, making it the 13th largest city in North Dakota. Steve and I ride through the city park, a neighborhood, and up a serious incline where we find a hotel to spend the night. As Steve mentioned earlier, this day was stellar.